See if we get this microphone to work. There we go. Thank you all for taking some time this afternoon to come over to the Hall of Justice and hear about some positive information that's being shared with the community today, thanks to our friends in the media. We are delighted to roll out a project today that is called Drive. Drive actually started back in 2015 when my chief assistant, Miss Jennifer Martin, who's over there on my right, and myself got together with Bishop Todd Fulton, who is here today with us, and we talked about a project that would help individuals that were impoverished figure out a way to get their driver's license reinstated. And as you know, especially in a place like Winston-Salem, you gotta have a driver's license to get around. And we thought about it, and we talked about it, and it was the first project of its kind in North Carolina. The first project we knew of anywhere, really. And when we rolled it out, we were expecting that first day that we would have 10 or 20 people from around our neighborhoods here that would come in and seek our assistance in getting their driver's license reinstated. And much to my shock and Bishop Fulton's shock, we had about 250 people crammed into that lobby that you all just came through. I mean, it was really shocking when we took a couple of minutes to notice the need that was out there and real in this community for people to have their licenses back. Part of the funny story, of course, is when we realized we couldn't accommodate 250 people over here that day, Bishop Fulton suggested that we take 10 or 12 and have me go out and announce to everybody else that they were not going to get their license reinstated today. So don't think I haven't forgotten that story, okay? But we had everybody come back, every single person that showed up that day, we had them come back. And we worked diligently to get them their licenses reinstated, which meant that we had to go back and clean out people's driver's license, which is a very, very time-consuming project. We ended up having to dispose of roughly 110,000 old tickets. 110,000. But the beauty of it was that when it was all said and done, hundreds of people in this community got their driver's licenses back. Hundreds. And people came back to us, and there were tears coming down their eyes and out of their eyes and down their cheeks, and they were just so overcome with emotion that they were getting a chance now to start all over, which in this community means you can get a better job, you can go back and get your education, you can go visit family and friends all over the state legally and not have to worry about being pulled over because you don't have what you're supposed to have in your wallet. So that was a tremendous thing that we started years ago, my friend. And after we rolled it out, it was duplicated and copied across the state of North Carolina. So all these other cities and counties said, man, Forsyth's onto something here. We need to be doing the same sort of project and giving it to our citizens as well. And it's been duplicated and copied so many times from Murphy to Manio. And each time it was copied, somebody was going to their council, their city council, and getting more resources so that the project could go on in a continuous basis 365 days a year. When we were here and we initially rolled it out, it took volunteers from not just our office and the clerk's office, but we needed volunteers from the private bar as well to come over and help folks. We got all that accomplished. And what I'm just delighted to explain to the public today is that we now, thanks to James Taylor and the City Council and Mayor Joins, we now have the funding here in Winston-Salem to continue this project in an ongoing basis to help people year-round get their driver's license back. So for the City Council, Mayor Joins, thank you. Thank you. It couldn't have come at a better time when you consider the pandemic that everyone is facing and rolling out of and perhaps rolling back into again. So it it was timely. Your generosity was timely, and for that, I'm most grateful to you. A little bit about the way that the project's going to work, and I want the public to understand this as well. Our friends from the city, the police department, thank you for being here today, and of course our friends from Project Reentry, we appreciate you being here as well. The way this will work is people can go to the website. The website is called driveforsyth.org. One word, driveforsyth.org. And it's designed to help the Forsyth County and Winston-Salem residents that have Forsyth County tickets. And if you have your license has been suspended prior to 2015, you go on this website and it will direct you on what you need to do. Now, we recognize, of course, the fact that not everybody may have access to a computer and internet, and so we've also made it available here at the Hall of Justice. And you can come to the front window here at the 7th floor, and we will give you an application to fill out. The way the project works, and let me introduce, if I just real briefly here, Mackenzie Betchen. Mackenzie is our assistant DA that the council was able to provide us, and her assistant, Macy Wiseman. Macy is our legal assistant assigned to this project as well. And they are the folks that are working behind the scenes, along with our elected clerk, the Honorable Denise Hines. If you'd stand up, please. Ms. Hines is also working with us hand in hand with her clerk, because this is a very labor-intensive effort. And oftentimes people will come in and see our folks, and quite honestly, it's been so long that they haven't had a driver's license, many of them don't even realize why their license is revoked. It's been that long. And so our folks, along with Madam Clerks, will go back and try and figure out what revoked their license. And this is the part that can be so unsettling to somebody like myself. When people get pulled over for a seatbelt ticket or a registration violation, that's a very simple thing to fix. If you normally take care of your registration or your inspection or whatever the case may be, you come down here, show us proof, we just dismiss the charge against you. But if folks don't come to court and they don't take care of those things, what I like to describe is what happens next is sort of like getting put into the spin cycle of the washing machine, okay? You forget your registration is expired, you continue to drive, you get pulled over because your tail light is out. Law enforcement recognizes that your license is in a state of revocation because you didn't take care of a registration ticket. Your license then gets revoked for an additional 3 years. So when I talk about the spin cycle, folks can get caught up in the system, and it goes on and on and on, and you continue to get revoked. And there's no, people feel like there's no hope at the end of the tunnel, and then there's no light. Well, we're trying to be the light today to explain to people, come here, let us help you. With the blessing of the city, we now have the resources to do what we need to do to help our citizens lead a more enjoyable life here in Winston-Salem. We look at people's past criminal records as we're going through some of these things, and we want to be sure that they are making an effort to be good stewards and good citizens here and productive citizens here. We're mindful to law enforcement. We're mindful that, you know, if you don't have to pull somebody over because their registration is expired, it makes your job easier and you can focus on more important things as well. We are, on Wednesday of this week, we're going to roll out our first court date for folks that are in the project and in our system. And that will be down in traffic court, where Judge Whit Davis has volunteered to be the first judge that's going to hear these cases. And basically what we've asked our participants to do is fill out a form indicating where they are financially right now in life and see whether or not we can give them some special relief when they come down in front of the judge. Because we can do all the work behind the scenes to clean up licenses, but people still have to be in a position to be able to afford to pay a court cost. And we don't want that to be an impediment for folks. So we have forms people are going to fill out, and we'll take them in front of the judge, and we're going to assist them to be sure that they can get accomplished on Wednesday what has taken them probably several weeks to get done. So again, we are just delighted to be able to roll this out today and explain to the public how we can help you get your driver's license back in a meaningful way. And the importance of this project, just so that you will understand, is that this was our baby. We started this here. This was our idea, our brainchild. And when others saw it and copied it and they liked the success, the city stepped up. Councilman Taylor stepped up. The rest of the council people stepped up. Mayor Joynes stepped up to see to it that the other counties that were duplicating us were not going to do a better job than where the original brainchild was. Okay, so thank you again for what you've done. And if I might, I'm going to just ask Councilman Taylor to step up, please, and speak for a couple of minutes.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to take a moment and bring greetings on behalf of the City Council. Mayor Joynes has already been recognized, who we'll probably hear from. Just as a matter of protocol, I want to recognize Assistant Chief Miles and Pam Peoples-Joyner with the City of Winston-Salem. I want to take a quick moment and just thank DA O'Neill, the DA's office, for helping to introduce this program and all of the nonprofits and community organizations that helped to make it happen. It's my honor to work on behalf of the council to be able to expand this program and provide opportunities for the people in this community. Before I say anything else, I will say that I'm very excited to be here today for a number of reasons. Number one, if you look in Raleigh and you look in Washington, D.C., there's a lot of gridlock going on and a lot of people playing partisan politics. What you're seeing right now here on the local level between the city and county is not partisan politics. Folks working across the aisle, coming together to solve everyday issues that people in this community are facing. It's my understanding that there are about 57,000 people in Forsyth County who have a suspended driver's licenses. You know, and I know that overwhelmingly affects people of color, and people have a hard time getting to jobs and other opportunities throughout the community. Proud to say this program will help to get those folks to those jobs and opportunities, and not only to their jobs, but it allows them, DA O'Neill, to be able to have opportunities in entrepreneurship, whether that's trucking, whether that's ride sharing, to be able to get out of their communities and work inside of their communities to provide for their families. So again, this isn't fake, this is real. We are doing real work in the city and the county to provide opportunities for the people. And I thank everyone who made this opportunity to be successful. And I appreciate what you all do to help our city to be a better place to live, work, and relax. Thank you.
I would also ask our esteemed mayor if he would come up, please, and say a few words. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Mr. District Attorney, and good afternoon, everyone. And I want to add my congratulations to you and to Councilmember Taylor. Councilmember Taylor heads the Public Safety Committee on our council. And of course, Bishop Fulton, always good to be with you as well. As Councilmember alluded to, 57,000 people without a license. You know, unfortunately, Winston-Salem, Forsyth County has the dubious honor, or dishonor, I guess, of having high poverty rates. This program will do a lot to help us in our efforts to move people out of poverty because they can now have an opportunity for a job in a meaningful way. So I'm glad we could put some money into it. Couldn't let those other cities get ahead of us for sure. So Mr. DA, thank you and congratulations for your efforts here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being here. But Mr. Al-Jabbar, would you please stand up, please? We failed to recognize Mr. Jabbar. Thank you for being here with us as well. And we have spoken behind the scenes and pre-pandemic, getting ready to roll this thing out. So it's a great day, and I thank you for being here with us. Having said all that, if there are questions, of course, I will take them.
How much money was put into this?
I'll let Mr. Taylor answer that question if we know.
We'll have to get the numbers to you exactly.
Okay.
It's 3 positions.
But it covers 3 positions.
And how long of a process is this when someone decides to apply for it?
So the question is, how long does the process take if somebody decides to apply for relief? It depends on each individual case. You know, some people may have one ticket from 20 years ago that they let lapse. Other people may have pages of driving history. One of the things I think is probably important worth mentioning is Ms. Martin in particular and myself try to work very closely with Project Reentry, and the folks from Project Reentry are here, and they, when people are coming out after being incarcerated, we want to be sure that we can give them an opportunity to have a clean slate, a real clean slate. So, but it's important that those folks work with Project Reentry. They can't just come out and not do the things they're supposed to do, but if they work with Project Reentry, we make a commitment to them that we will also will be wedded to them as well to see them become successful.
Mr. O'Neill, is there a cap on the amount of people we're planning to help, or do you have a number considering the flood that we had?
Bishop Fulton's question was, is there a cap on the number of people that we're going to help? And the answer is no. We, unlike the first couple of times that we rolled this out, where we had real resource problems, thanks to the city, today, that's no longer going to be an impediment, but it'll be an ongoing basis. And I just see this getting better and better and growing each year as we learn what other people's needs are and try to use this program to better assist people in getting back their driver's license. So,
Is there a time frame as to who will be covered and who will not be covered under this program?
the question was, is there going to be a time frame? So we go back to licenses suspended prior to 2015, and each year that year will move up. So one of the dangers, of course, is that if you have a system that's in place that there's no time period, then there's no, and I'm mindful of this with law enforcement, of course, that if people are continue to rack up tickets and they're not doing anything about it, and just hoping that it's all going to get washed away, then it disincentivizes people to do the things they're supposed to be doing and coming to court and taking care of their matters. So yes, we are with you, law enforcement, on that.
And how many times may they participate?
We are wanting people to participate one time and get that stuff cleaned out. That's our goal. But I will tell you, of course, there will be people, as Mackenzie and I talked about, there will be people that we cannot help for whatever their particular situation is. That's just the way it's going to work. However, we have taken an additional step of recruiting some private lawyers that are going to give their time pro bono to help those people, assist those people in getting their matters rectified. Yes, sir.
I want to take a moment and get you the exact number. To date, we put in support and partnership about $275,000.
Did you get that? 275,000 if we missed it.
And there are already other community partners like with the NAACP, the Ministers Conference, and Project SOAR, which is all about employment. Ms. Pam Peoples-Joyner is here.
Okay,
They help
well,
us get candidates.
I'm sorry?
They help us get candidates.
Yes,
and
of course.
help screen and share applications.
So again, thank you all for being here. Please take our gratitude back to the other council members and let them know how important this day is for people in this city, and we're going to be good stewards of that money to be sure that we're helping as many people as we possibly can, because that's the wish of the council, and we will act accordingly. But please tell them how much we appreciate their generosity today to be able to fund this program moving on in time. Bishop Fulton, awesome day. I mean, it's hard to believe that we are here today. Something we thought about and dreamed about and wondered if we were going to get to a spot where we could have continuous resources for the people that need this kind of help. So I'm delighted that we partnered so many years ago, and I'm even more happy with where we're going forward now. And thank you for your constant support of programs like this in town. And Mr. Jabbar, thank you so much for being here as well. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you all being here.